Hey, special educators, this is Jennifer from Positively Learning, and this is going to be a very fast video. I wanted to call this the bare bones paraprofessional training binder, what to include if you only have 15 minutes to put it together. I didn't think that title would fly, or maybe it would, but it is going to be a very quick video. Now, you could do much longer video. In fact, I have, so let me know if you need the link about how to put together from start to finish a training binder. And that would be more appropriate for the beginning of the school year. It would take you through the entire year. That is really helpful, but that's not what this video is. This video you might be watching on a weekend. Maybe it wasn't such a great week, and you just know that something's going to have to change before we get back to school on Monday. This video is for you. All right, so if you have 15 minutes, there are some things I would include to put together a binder ASAP. And I want to walk through what they are. Of course, you can do so much more than this, but we're on a time crunch, right? Now, I will say in my own background, I have purchased many paraprofessional training binders before I ended up creating my own. And I have to say, they were great. There was so much good information. They were thorough. They looked really nice, easy to print, put into a binder. However, it did not necessarily change my situation because I did not exactly know how to use them. So that's what this video is also about. I want to explain why I chose these things. You're welcome to use all of these ideas. You're welcome to add more, take some out, whatever works for you. All right, so going through these very quickly. The first one these are in no particular order. Okay, so the classroom layout and expectations. I definitely need to explain. You may also be stumbling upon this video because you had typed in expectations, as in paraprofessional expectations or professional. What you are expecting to see in the classroom, often this looks like a list, and it might be do's and don'ts, or yeah, do this, not that, or what is expected, and then maybe contrasted with what is not expected. And I just have to ask if you are using that, how's it going for you? You may not be watching this video if it's going really well. So I do think that's really important. I include a list just like I talked about in the big binder, but that's not what I'm talking about here. If that has not been working really well, I want to offer this spin on combining the classroom layout and expectations together. And the reason I want to do that is it takes it a little bit off talking at staff, but instead of talking with staff and sharing what the purpose is and why those expectations are there. So imagine this. You have a classroom layout and you just have a piece of paper and you're going to do a quick map diagram of the classroom. In the big binder, what I did is I just had a header at the top, this is our classroom, and then a big box. I was not getting fancy with clip arts. Everybody's room can change throughout the year, things move around. I would just grab a pencil or a pen and just sketch it out really rough, very quickly. All right, so the reason you want to do this is you want to sketch out like where things are in the classroom and what the purpose of it is. I know that you're probably dealing with space that's not as large as you need it to be. That's story of our life, right? And you probably have a lot of different sections in your classroom marked off by furniture or shelf or posters or things on the wall, things like that. This exercise takes you through your classroom and assigns a purpose for each place. This is where we meet for small group. This is where we come in when we arrive in the resource room. This is the rug. This is a calm down corner, things like that. On this sketch, you'll be talking about the purpose for each classroom and what the expectations are for anyone who comes to that area, students and adults. This might help communicate expectations because we're approaching it as the staff is going to be modeling these expectations for students. See what we did there? We kind of took the pressure off of talking at our staff and said, we're doing it together. This is what we're going to model. This is the purpose. Now, I would give it a try. And I will say, if this is not easy, maybe you're sketched it out and you're not exactly sure what that purpose is, or one area of your classroom is being used for many, many purposes, I'm just going to suggest that that might be why expectations are not as clear. right? Maybe they aren't that clear. Maybe things are being used for so many different things, and that happens. But maybe this exercise will help provide that clarity, because if you're struggling to come up with the purpose, that might be part of it, right? And that might go a long way to getting everybody on the same page. So give that a try and let me know how it goes. All right, the next one is very simple. This is going to take you about 1 minute. Grabbing the school safety statement or plan in the confidentiality statement. I would just log into your school if you guys have a handbook. If you don't, you can go up to the district level. I am almost going to guarantee there's some type of printed statement that you can print out and take a minute to do it. Do not write it yourself. You don't need to recreate the wheel, and tuck it in the binder. That could be the beginning. That could be like the cover page, or maybe the confidentiality statement could be the cover page. If you can't find that one I'm not quite sure if they have it on the website. I would just write 2 sentences saying like, we don't do this. We don't share names, and so on. That hopefully is still there. Also, rights law is a great place to find lots of blanket statements like that. Okay, classroom schedule. So you probably already do this. You probably have printed your schedule, tucked it in a binder, or have it posted in your classroom. This one I'm going to also take a little bit of a different spin. Yes, you can do exactly that. Just print out your schedule. Really helpful. You can handwrite notes on it. Nothing fancy. We're not going to get real involved right now, but here is one more suggestion to try. Try creating the classroom schedule or a sketch, like an outline of the schedule with the paraprofessional in mind. This could look like just a list of rows that you're writing on, like lined paper, a table or blocks, and you're writing what's happening, but not so formal. So it would not look like intervention group number 10, or the math content block or something like that. But instead, you can just have a block where the paraprofessional is going to be and what they're doing, supporting students in the classroom from this time to this time, pushing into the inclusion classroom setting, traveling to the enrichment or specials class, recess, lunch, those types of things. And that way, it's just a little bit of a spin on the classroom schedule. I think ideally, it would be great to combine that with your schedule. That's more detailed, more specific, but try this one. Maybe that will help a little bit so that there's just no confusion of where everyone is and what everyone's doing at a certain time. All right, students' names and contact information, very straightforward. Put in your binder. Procedures for working with students with disabilities. I would highly recommend putting this. I just don't see this enough that's available. And I am not thinking that you would do this for students with disabilities specific to your classroom, but more in general, following like idea, maybe going to Rights Law, printing that out. I have one at Positively Learning. Just printing out, it'd be great if it's a one pager, maybe a front and back side, the disabilities, the categories, the codes, and a brief explanation of what it is. I think that would be really helpful. If you can do more of like action steps rather than definitions, I think that would also be very helpful. It goes along with the next two strategies. Strategies for academics. Maybe this looks like the prompt hierarchy chart, which is really helpful, but does take time to be explained and modeled. And maybe you don't have that time right now. Maybe you want to put it down in more specific words. We use touch math. This is, we're doing this. Students are prompted to use 2 strategies before asking for help. I don't know, whatever makes sense for your classroom. Same thing with behavior management. I would definitely have a one pager of what it is. This could be where you do this, not that. This is what we address. If this happens, then we do this, and so on. That you probably want to spend a little bit more time on and make it straightforward. Nothing fancy, because things change, right? But that is very important to put in there. I do have a intervention kit. I think it's like $3.50. It's included in the big bundle, and it has a one pager for the academics, for writing, for math, for basic reading, and for testing and behavior support. And they're one pagers, and they are like a bank of ideas. That's something that you could print out and put in there or create your own. And the last is data sheets and checklists. Okay, now I'm looking at that with a different viewpoint. Maybe that one we want to wait till later. Maybe we should rename this 7 things to include in your binder if you're putting it together this weekend for putting something into place right away. But it is a great idea. It's a dream. It would be awesome, maybe so that we could see the big picture of what is happening and how we're working together to support our students. But we might want to manage expectations on who is actually collecting that data. I still would tuck them in. All right, I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to put this link and everything, the link, and I'll put a link to some of the resources I mentioned and other videos. And let me know if you need any help with anything. I would love to be there for you. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to hit subscribe. I will catch you next time.